This week on Hermitcraft, there are two types of dead people. Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is LoyXP, and we will be your entertainment for this fine evening. In today's show, we'll see betrayal, collaborative architecture, mechanical marvels, and a luck stat so maxed out you'll think the guy had the Force. Also, chickens. Lots of them. With that out of the way, grab some refreshments from the concession stand, get yourself comfortable, and do switch off your mobile phones, unless, of course, that's what you're watching this on. Let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Joe Hills, for whom demise is getting too spooky.
I thought that was a creeper again. It was a cow. This game's getting on my nerves.
After an attempt to mend the creeper holes with a snow golem just leads to more craters in the landscape, Joe Porter Hills straps all his inventory to his back and heads out to connect the Hermitcraft server, on foot or by elytra where possible because the nether is full of traps. Scavenging what food he can from the patchy crops around the Halloween district, he heads out to an uncharted part of the server and temporarily holes up next to a lava lake, flinging all the bones he isn't currently using at some nearby direwolves. Winter is coming, or something.
I love you. Thank you, wolf. How about you? Oh, look at that.
Though if it's false assuming the role of the mother of dragons, then the dragons are in for a spanking.
So I started reading that sign and then I was like, oh, okay, let's wear the pumpkin, right? Take my helmet off. How did... No, I don't know. This is all fake. Those guys just trolled me. I can't believe it. I wasn't even certain what the heck the Dragon Bros thing was.
She, luckily, is more confused than infuriated by the dragon head bound to her face during last week's shenanigans, and perhaps it's a good thing that the Dragon Bros bunch never gave her a tour of the premises, seeing as how she's a bit of a vindictive one. For now, she does just fine stabbing Iskall back without actually initiating conflict, as False drops a shipment of diorite to a person who is sure willing to place it. Iskall's got other problems, like the fact that Sahara now keeps running out of stock and that restocking it is actually kinda boring. Also, the giant blue and yellow tower that the Idea team have left in front of Sahara, incidentally filled with creepers. But he's got solutions for both of these issues, building a redstone contraption that will allow the architect boys to automatically stock shulker boxes with precise amounts of whatever they want, and taking a set of shears to the Idea pop-up and charging them a stack of diamonds for the rent.
So I think it's only fair that we write them up a little bit of an invoice. The rent fee for the 10 days of the pillar will be 64 diamonds, as we like to give you a discount from our normal 10 diamonds per day fee. Don't tell them, but we don't have any standard fee.
This whole exercise leaves him without much redstone to work with, to the point where he basically has to pick up blood trails from the ominous heads on spikes around the server and add them to his stash. But by the end of the episode, he's cashing in on villager trades.
Less than 4 minutes time and I've got over a shulker box worth of redstone dust.
Getting a hefty invoice is not the first bit of trouble the Idea boys find themselves in this week, as fellow Dragon Bro BOO is caught loitering in the Sahara lobby by Grian, while Keralis and Azuma poke around the innards of the system, which I guess isn't very bro, or whatever. Still, it's no wonder Shopping leaves B-dubs with a sense of paranoia, considering he has to sneak around all the traps in the server now. That's probably why his own shop is a very straightforward affair. His redstone shopkeeper is re-employed to trade diamonds for donations of diorite just inside the entrance to Hermitland. And it's a good thing False drops off a significant amount, because that castle isn't going to build itself, even if bits of it are held up by yeeters. But the greatest threat to B-dubs' castle isn't the lack of diorite, it's the sudden presence of pressure plates, levers, and other redstone components on every flat surface. Digging them up to avoid tripping anything himself, eventually a trap is revealed in the form of a barrel at the entrance which opens up a pitfall. Luckily for B-dubs, he opens it from the wrong side, and keeps his composure long enough to calmly declare war.
What's this? What's in here? Ooh, oh! Now it's on! It is game time!
So about those pressure plates. They're here because Jevin decided to laser focus on taking BOO out, but didn't get to his tour reservation just yet. Originally the plan was to sneak one in as B-Dubs was waxing about the flying buttresses, but for now he settled for a Jevin Paranoia Classic. To kill time, he also traps up his own shop, seeing how customers are temporary and victory is forever. And some temporary the customers will be, if you rig your own chests to explode. Midway through these shenanigans, Jevin is summoned to the Coven of the Dead for a surprise. Azuma and Cubfan have now completed the outer shell of the team's headquarters, and are counting on him and the rest to fill in the rooms. Jevin is left in charge of the armory as the one with the armor stand knowledge and a large supply of metals he's not really selling now that his shop is booby-trapped.
Just kind of learning the armor stands again. I've really got it down though, I think. So this one...
The redstone components he left lying around in the meantime are found by Keralis, and they set off all of his alarms. So much so that a trip for pet fishes turns into an adventure through no man's land with Doc M the cow. Plot twist, the M stands for moo.
I'm the cow man.
Can you walk? Can you do
No,
something?
I see you. No, I can't control it. Okay, come here, come on. Push me through the portal. I don't want to be a cow longer than necessary.
Which you will need assistance with when you haven't even seen a drowned before. The bovine doctor might have had ulterior motives for leading Keralis around. He's still trying to ditch his debt to Cubfan for bringing someone on the alive team to the end. Luckily for both of them, as we reported last week, Jevin had tripped the trap already and the demolition cows weren't required, but Doc technically upheld his part of the bargain. I'm sure it won't be long before we see if this pays off, but for now, Doc goes back to work on his pillager raid farm, which is looking a lot more swirly than it used to.
But yeah, it's starting to take shape. This is extremely tedious to copy that from my creative world over.
Doc can expect more danger now some other Redstoners are freshly deceased, including Impulse SV, who still has no idea who killed him, but is happy to get some orientation from the dead team. Now he's been dug up, he digs into the recreational aspects of the afterlife, like betting on who's going to win Demise, and decorating his new digs in the freshly built dead quarters. But are those chests for storage, or are they traps for anyone brave enough to loot the dead team's coffins?
I don't know, I just wanted to put a lot of little Easter eggs in here for them to be concerned about.
Cubfan's share of the dead quarters is on the decorative side, yet also full of redstone. Two major lists of heads Cubfan was left in charge of were the Wall of Soon-to-be Victims and the Hall of the Already Murdered, that would illustrate how and when and even where they kicked the bucket.
So you can just name your banner to the skull, then place your banner down, right-click, and there you go. I now have a map with a skull on it.
The list of the ones still breathing is too vastly superior to any head wall in a crypt, if only because it plays a jingle every time a person dies. You still have to pull the lever, but really that just makes it more exciting.
If that's the case, and of course when we flick it back down, the song plays again.
Lastly, Cub starts a Secrets of the Dead book to maybe track who's done what in the trap department, just so him and Jevin can stop killing one another. The Concorp land, in the meantime, has upgraded to VLC Media Player.
Thank you, Joe Hills. So this, it looks like, is a giant, traffic cone, like one of those orange traffic cones.
They once again meet up with Azuma Void once the Rise of the Dead quarters is over, and the backyard of the Idea facilities is all cut nicely. The three victims X sets his sights on are Mumbo, Doc M, and TFC, but while the former two get away with minor pufferfish mischief, one Mumbo dodges through pure obliviousness.
Okay, this is gonna have to be the spot here. I think we could hide maybe 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, somebody has filled my water elevator thing with pufferfish.
The latter has got a very different clump of entities to worry about. A horde, even. One brought back from the spawner Iskal once used to overrun Team Star's base with zombies during the Civil War. Together with Cubfan, Azuma infiltrated TFC's bunker through the sprawling network of mining tunnels and lures a large number of ghouls to the bunker's doorstep. TFC then disposes of them all off camera. Guess all that digging really did make him stone cold. Or maybe it's the fact that he's been hitting the gym, building a room of the vault with treadmills and exercise bikes so he can stay in zombie fighting condition. But even bulking up won't stop mining fatigue from taking effect, and the fact that he gets debuffed while investigating the tunnel that brought the zombies might suggest that Gimme the Guardian is alive and well, sleeping somewhere under the server, waiting for the end times. TFC's vault gets some more unexpected visitors. Pretending to be a Vault-Tec representative, still alive Cleo drops in to start living out of TFC's sizable crawl space. With her, she brings a Mr. Orderly bot to help out with the cafeteria, and Fallout Shelter-style residents, whom TFC instantly drives mad with the powder mixes provided.
And depending on what food he gives to who, I'm going to do something. Subject spent the last 5 hours counting his toes, of which he now possesses 12.
Really, with how much of Fallout dorks the two of them are, it's a collaboration we should have seen coming. It's quite surprising that it took the sky falling to finally drive them to work together.
They've trapped the sky. And the only reason why I know this is it's just sort of like, oh yeah, if you're flying around somewhere, you might want to be recording.
You know what the best solution to Doomsday is, though? Join a cult.
I still don't fully understand what the Dragon Bros is. It feels like a cult, does it?
But being press-ganged into this dragony alliance won't save Mumbo from all the nether portal fall traps, or the fact that the water elevator in his base has been filled with pufferfish. And the dragon-headed bunch have even taken to accidentally breaking his redstone contraptions with all that bro energy. At least he manages to stock Sahara with observers, commemorating this historic event with what I can only describe as an evolved Yeeter, because that's what we've written in the script. And he gets around to building another structure in the ocean around his base, even if he doesn't quite know what to put in it yet.
I've built the outside, and now I have no plan of what to fill it with. To be honest with you, I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea.
GoodTimesWith Scar, meanwhile, knows exactly what to put into his redstone sweatshops. Colonialism.
Dumbledore, if you would have just lived a little bit longer, you would have enjoyed the iPhone. You would have, I promise you.
For Cherry Redstone to produce the redstone, it needs cleric villagers and emeralds, which, in the context of a sweet berry farm, quickly turns into clerics and butchers. I'm just here imagining all these villagers grinding the berries into a red powder. Encouraged by Doc M dropping him a compliment, Scar goes full throttle on the trading, even doing an hour-long challenge just to measure the exact redstone production rate. Sadly, the whole thing makes him skip out on helping at the DEADQUARTERS. No problem, Scar just pulls a whole mansion of his own out of the swamp, called the Frankenscar House, and soon to house unspeakable evil. Just hoping he won't try and make it into a parkour course, but forget about it halfway through.
And that took an absolute ton of work, and it is now colorized, texturized, and the backside is neither.
But speaking of minigames, finally, there's TangoTek, who can't stop game developing even when he's already playing a game inside another game. Tango's take on a demise trap could not just kill you fair and square. In the event of a victim dropping in, they will find themselves in an inescapable box ticking and counting down on them. The only chance to keep their head would be to grab the eggs from the center of the room and try to get chickens to stand on all the pressure plates at once. As far as the killing mechanisms go, this one's quite inventive, but where would Tango get all the eggs for it?
We're gonna head over to an oldie but a goodie here. And of course it's running! Of course it's been lagging this server for 10 months now, probably.
How is this server not crashing, like, all the time? But that's going to be it for this week's recap. Our writer is ZloyXP, and my name is Pixelriffs. In the end screen theatre today is what happens when you give Zloy a dragon, and what happens when you give Zloy a funcraft. Some of us seem to be having way too fun of a time with the mods. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.